Hi everyone, it's me, Krylios, Team Racing Productions MC and producer. And joining me today is Dr. Mick.
Oh, hi, how are you?
How are you? I am doing fine. I am doing well. I am doing well. To start out, could you just, introduce yourself, give a little bit of background and for our audience?
Okay, excellent. My name is Dr. Mick, Dr. Michangelo Scruggs, and I am running for DC Council at Large in 2020. Part of my background, I am a medical doctor. I have a practice at United Medical Center in the medical office building next door.
Mm,
I've been in practice for about 10 years, full private practice for about 10 years. And in that time, I have decided to practice in parts of the city that were minimized, marginalized, and really don't have a lot of representation. We don't believe that we have representation for the needs of the people, of all people in DC. So I've decided that I want to be the real change that DC seeks. And the way to do that would be to get into the office and not come from a stance of what, um, or this is what I plan to do for you, but come from a stance of what do you need me to do? Because
mm.
clearly, as a council person, our sincere focus should be meeting the needs of each and every DC citizen. So that's why I'm here today.
Definitely, definitely. Now tell me what I know you said you want to, like the issues that people have, you want them to bring it, so that you can. But tell me three issues that you've identified that you think definitely, needs to be addressed, and those are three things you will address if you were to become the at-large council member.
Okay. If I am so privileged to become the DC Council Member at Large 2020, there are so many issues that we have that I plan to tackle, but I believe the top three would be healthcare,
Mhm.
education, and public safety. Healthcare, because our city has a real problem in healthcare. One, we have a population east of the Anacostia River that does not have a viable hospital currently. Uh, the the people who live east of the Anacostia deserve a quality hospital and quality health care. And it is also my belief that no matter where you live in the district, you should have quality health care. Okay. So part of my plans with healthcare would be to construct a uh, full service hospital east of the Anacostia River. Okay. Not one that's just 136 beds, but one that meets the needs of the 140,000 plus citizens that live east of the Anacostia. The second thing that I would do is make sure that there are a full complement of services in every ward, in every section of the city. The problem has been that especially east of the Anacostia River, a full complement of services such as dentistry and oral maxillofacial surgery and dermatology don't really exist over there. And the ones that have one or two practitioners, such as podiatry, were overwhelmed often. Um, in addition, one last thing about healthcare, what I would want to do is make sure that women who are pregnant are able to have their babies and able to receive prenatal care east of the Anacostia River. For the last 3 years, that has not been happening. So that would be something that certainly would be my focus. Uh, with education, we have to fix our education system. I mean, there's just no excuse for being the nation's capital and having a really broken education system. When you look at some of our numbers, some of our math and reading scores, they fall certainly under 50%, but in some schools, 17% of students are proficient in math, and or I'm sorry, 17% of students are proficient in reading, and sometimes as little as 1% of students are proficient in math. Okay, so that's a problem. We need to fix those things. In terms of public safety, I don't advocate defunding the police because I believe that we need to really enhance the programs so that we can have more protection on the streets. we need to do a full overhaul of the police department so that we will be able to develop a police force that works for us and that's committed to protecting the citizens in the District of Columbia. And I have certain plans that I would like to enforce to do that.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I'm glad you brought that up because I want to talk about how the events of this summer, you know, from the protests, the demonstrations, as well as the ongoing pandemic, how have they impacted you personally, as well as your priorities as a candidate?
Okay. Well, I realized that although I have other priorities as well, one of my primary priorities would be to really deal with the effects of COVID-19 once we are beyond the initial stages. COVID-19 is something that's not going away overnight. It's going to be here as a new normal for a while, so we have to adapt to that. However, I believe my focus would be trying to get people back to work and to extend a lot of the rent abatements, mortgage abatements, and public utility abatements so that people aren't being kicked out of their homes or having their utilities turned off before they really have an ample opportunity to get back into the workforce and be able to pay their bills and cover that. In terms of the police protests and police brutality, I believe in protests. I think protests are great, but I believe that you have to follow it with the power of the vote. Protests are catalysts. It's the catalyst that sparks change, but it in and of itself does not necessarily bring change. You have to vote. So that's something that I've really been thinking about, trying to get people out to vote and vote their conscience.
Definitely. And at this point, there's about 24, just around 24 people running
Right.
for this specific seat. Now, here's the question I'm going to ask you.
Sure.
Now, one can select two people.
Correct.
Have you decided which of the other at-large candidates will get your vote?
I have looked at all of them, and I've looked at many of them, and quite frankly, Robert White, because I believe that Councilman White embodies the change in DC that I'm also seeking to help him to continue to create and perpetuate. And I believe that he understands that you have to meet the needs of all people and not just special interest groups. And I think that he's eager to make DC better for quality, a better quality for all and not just for some. So that's who I would most likely cast my vote for.
Well, I like that. Now tell me, do you support, other voting systems like instant runoff voting or ranked choice voting in DC elections?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Oh, I'm asking, do you support other implementing like instant runoff voting or ranked choice voting in the DC elections? Or are you like fine with how we vote currently?
I think that, well, certainly in this climate, I think that mail-in ballots, mail-in voting is important because I don't believe you should be out risking yourself, or you should have to risk yourself in order to vote, okay? And DC has made it easier for people to get a mail-in ballot and to be able to mail their vote. So I think that that's great. I think that we really need to work on trying to make sure more people in DC are registered. I think that's essential. And because I want people to have a voice and to speak their voice. And so as any councilman should do, our job is to speak their voice in City Hall, but the first thing you have to do is speak your voice through the ballot and through the vote.
Definitely, definitely. And how can people support you? How can people keep up with you? Okay. How can people get on your website? Okay. Tell our viewers about that.
Okay, so I'm at drmicdccouncil.com. That's drmicdc.com. I'm also on Twitter at Dr. McDC Council. I'm on Facebook at Dr. McDC Council, and I'm on Instagram at Dr. McDC Council. So, and believe me, we would love for people to come and be part of the process and part of the team. And we would also love people to donate whatever they can. We're not asking for hundreds of dollars. If you have $1, $5, coins in the cushion of your couch, whatever you have, you know, we would accept, and we would be blessed with everything that you can give us, because we're in this to win this. I am the change. We are the change. And together we can change DC to work for all of us.
Oh, wow. I like that. Thank you so much, Dr. Mick, for joining me today. It's
Thank you.
been such a
Absolutely.
pleasure.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. And to our viewers, thank you for
Yes,
watching.
absolutely.
Goodbye, everyone.